So in today's video, we're going to talk about mental health and streaming. I'm here to give you some thoughts that I have on mental health and streaming, and hopefully provide you with some useful tips and hints of what to do if you're feeling a little on the low. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you something that I don't think many people are talking about, and I think you need to hear. Let's go. Hi guys, It's Jo Joy. I stream over on Twitch, and I've got a TikTok and an Instagram and a Twitter. You can go follow me on all those things. A little bit of a disclaimer before we get into the nitty-gritty of this video. I am not a mental health expert, nor am I qualified to give any mental health advice. If you are struggling with your mental health at the moment, please seek professional help. I am not the person to come to if you're struggling with things. You've got to go see a doctor. With that being said, I think somebody somewhere needs to talk about mental health and streaming, because it is huge, and there's lots of people that have issues or come up against anxieties that are purely streaming related. I've had some myself, so I'm going to talk about my personal experiences when I started streaming and kind of the ups and downs that have happened as I've gone along, and things that I think you might expect as well, or that you might experience as you start the streaming process. If you're already a streamer, you probably can relate to some of these, so hopefully I can help you either way. And again, if you are struggling, seek professional medical help. Before you start streaming, here's what you should consider before pressing the go live. That it's going to be long hours, and I'm not just talking about the stream itself when you're live, I'm talking about everything else around it. You will judge yourself based on numbers and viewers that you have watching you. As much as you try not to let that affect you, I can almost guarantee at some point it will happen and you will be affected by it. You need to go into streaming knowing that fact, knowing that the numbers may get to you at some point, but also knowing that numbers aren't everything. You need to mentally prepare yourself for that. You also need to mentally prepare yourself for the long run. Things don't happen overnight. You're not going to go from 1 viewer up to 20 viewers in the space of a week unless you're really, really lucky and something happens. So prepare yourself for the slow growth in numbers, and prepare yourself that numbers aren't everything at the beginning stage. You need to prepare yourself for trolls and hate messages and just general weird things happening on the internet. It's part of content creation. It happens, guys. There's going to be people out there who are going to want to try and upset you or say things that are going to trigger some sort of emotion. It does not matter. On the internet, you can ban these people. You can get rid of these people. You can tell them to go away because it's your space and you're in control of your own space. That is something that is so important that I wish somebody had really ingrained into me at the start. That is, if you are not happy with somebody in your stream, you can get rid of them and ban them. You do not need that toxicity in your life, even at the detriment of losing a few viewers. I would much rather lose a few viewers knowing that the ones that are there are the good eggs, and I'm not filtering it in with the bad eggs. So be prepared for that. It will happen. You will get trolls. You will get hate messages. You can do this. They're just silly people on the internet. Also, understand that there are ebbs and flows, like a wavy line, on streaming and content creation. It is not plain sailing. Every time you stream, do not expect to keep going up and up and up and up and up. That's not always how it works. Some weeks you might find that you have a little peak, and then other weeks you might find you drop down again. If after a month of streaming you haven't seen that much growth, but you know that you're providing engaging content, you know that you are putting your content on other social media platforms, then stick with it for a little bit longer. Don't give up after the first hurdle if you see things aren't increasing massively. It's natural, it happens. Even the biggest streamers sat at 500, 1,000, they also experience dips and peaks. It will happen to you too, so expect that. The other things that are important, and it sounds daft, but is hydration. And speaking of hydration, 1 second. Oh, beautiful. Stay hydrated. You're going to be talking a lot. You're going to be entertaining a lot. There's going to be lots of lights on you and things. So make sure you stay hydrated. It's super, super important, super simple, but I definitely forgot about it when I first started streaming, and I would finish streams with the most searing headache I've ever had, and it's because I hadn't drunk in nearly 3 to 4 hours. I know, right? So hydrate, guys. Stick to a schedule. It sounds straightforward, but it's so important when you first start as a streamer. It's super easy to get really excited and go, I'm gonna stream 7 days a week, I'm gonna stream 6 hours at a time. No, don't do that. Please stop.
Get some help.
Set a schedule, even if it's once or twice a week that you go live. When I first started, I had the schedule set up. I've not really changed the schedule since I started more than a year ago. It's been the same, so I know that the days I'm not streaming, I can relax. I can either do background planning, I can play the games that I want to play off stream, but either way, it's my relaxation time and nothing is going to interrupt that. The other thing as well is your sleep. I can guarantee at some point that every single streamer on the platform has struggled with sleep. Here's my advice, is with your schedule and your routine is make sure you schedule in a sleep time as well. It's really hard to do in the beginning phases because, like me, I was super excited. I just wanted to keep going. I had loads of things to fix and plan, and I just lost sleep. I was maybe getting 1, 2, 3 hours of sleep a night, and that's it. It was not good, it was not healthy, so please make sure you schedule in sleep time and have a regular sleeping pattern. It's so important to make sure that you can keep going and you don't burn out. Another thing as well is establish a really good support network around you. Before pressing the go live button and before starting your first stream, make sure you've got a few friends or family members that are there to support you. I know streaming's a little bit taboo, and I didn't tell my family maybe like a month or 2 into streaming because of that reason. However, tell a friend, find somebody on the platform who you trust and you know and you would call as a friend, and have your support network set up so that when you're having your down moments and you're struggling, you've got somebody to talk to and they understand why it is you might be struggling a little bit because of what you're doing. It is super important. I didn't have that advice or information, and I didn't have anybody to go to at the time if I was struggling with numbers or sleep or just, am I doing good enough? Are people enjoying it? I didn't feel I could talk to that many people about it. Thankfully, I had a couple of friends that I'd gained with the year before who were there with me at the start and did provide a little bit of help. But in all honesty, I needed to have told my family. I should have told my family, and I didn't. But that's what I needed to do. I'm just being honest with you guys. Do's and don'ts. These are the things that I've learned through experience that I think you should and shouldn't do to help with your mental health. Again, if you are struggling, seek professional medical health. This is not medical advice, it's not professional advice, it's just a personal thing that I've gone through that I think will help in terms of streaming and nothing else. Do seek professional medical help when you need it. Don't rely on other streamers to pull you out of a mental health hole when you're in one. Trauma dumping is a real big thing on the platform, and if you are really struggling, it's important that you don't dump on somebody else because you don't know what they're going through. As another streamer, it can be really hard when somebody comes to you and they dump all this information on you and you yourself might be struggling. That's why it's important to have that friends network and that family network that you can go to and talk to. That's not to say that you shouldn't have friends on the platform. You definitely should. You should have connections that can kind of help you through worries and concerns. But if it's a real mental dip, don't dump this on another streamer because it can affect them as well. They might be going through something that you don't know about, and it could upset them as well. So make sure that you've got that network behind you that you can go to instead. Do pace yourself. Start off with a few streams a week. Don't stream every single night. Don't stream for 7 hours at a time or 6 hours at a time. You need to build up streaming stamina. I'm gonna make this a thing. Streaming stamina is so important. When I started, I struggled to stream an hour and a half to 2 hours and keep myself going. It was really tough.
How tough are you?
Like really tough. And eventually, over the months and as they've progressed, I found I can now do up to 4, 5, 6 hour streams and be totally fine. Ask me to do that when I first started, I'd have needed a week of sleep. It would have been really tough, so pace yourself. Do try and keep a sleeping routine. This is super important. I explained it earlier. Sleep's just good for you guys, okay? Get your sleep. Sleep. Don't show your viewership count while you're live and don't look at it at all. It's so hard to not check in on your viewers because at the minute, that's the only way streamers receive live feedback. For example, if you're streaming and you see your numbers go up, 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 and up, then you can kind of go, I'm doing a really good job. My viewers are going up. People are wanting to stay with me. They're wanting to hang around, chat and lurk. That's the good bit. The bad bit is when it starts to go down and down and down and down. At that point, if you see that happening live during stream, it can really affect your mental perception of what's going on, and it can put a downer on your whole performance during the stream. It's important to not even make that a thing. Get rid of your viewership count, make sure you can't see it anywhere, and when you first begin, just focus on creating really, really good, positive, engaging content. If nobody turns up in your stream, know the fact that because you've created really good content, you can pull that from Twitch and turn it into a YouTube video, you can turn it into a TikTok video or something you post on Instagram. That's what matters. That's what's important, that you're engaging and positive and people are going to be drawn to you. Do not watch your viewer count if you can help it at the start. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I didn't watch it sometimes. I did, okay? I can't tell you that I didn't. I would be a hypocrite. However, there have been times where I was going through low dips. I just scrapped it and I focused on providing good and engaging content. And you know what? All my worries went away because I had people chatting, I had people enjoying themselves, and at that moment in time, it didn't matter about my viewership. Turn it off and just focus on engaging content. So what is it that you need to hear that not many people are talking about? Well, I'll tell you now. You do not need to be a streamer to be validated on Twitch or any other social media platform. I've said it, okay? There are some people that are cut out for streaming and some people who aren't. I am not cut out to be a doctor. No way. My brain just can't cope with that. I have dyslexia, which isn't an excuse, but it means I struggle with things like that. So I'm not going to go down that route. I'm not going to be a lawyer either, but it's okay. There are really good lawyers out there. The same is with streaming. Not everybody is cut out to stream, and that's okay. It's fine. It doesn't mean it's a failed route. It doesn't mean that you have to keep trying and at some point you're going to grow and at some point you're going to kick off, because it might just not happen for you, and that's okay. Join in streamers when they play community games, be part of Discord groups that you really enjoy being with, make friends. For me, that's just as important as being a streamer. But if you're a born entertainer and you really want to engage with your community, you feel you've got something new to offer, something exciting, and you can change people's lives through that means, then absolutely go for it. But you do not need to push yourself. It's totally okay to go, this isn't for me. I'm going to do something else instead. I'm also going to say this as well. If you're not succeeding and you're putting in the effort or you're doing all the stuff, is don't blame it on other people. Usually it's something that you can fix personally, whether that's how engaging you are, the times you go live, the content that you provide, and the things that you do on stream. Do not put the blame on anybody else for you not succeeding. You are your own success. Boom. Take that from Wise Joy. Anyway, I hope that all makes sense in a nutshell. I've experienced lots of ups and downs. I've had times where I've not slept and I've not hydrated properly, and I know the effects that it can have, and it's not good. I've learnt now, after 12 months of streaming or longer, how to look after myself properly and how to make sure that I don't let the little things bother me. Go forth, have fun, enjoy yourselves. Don't take it too seriously if you don't want to, guys, and just be yourselves entirely and have fun. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. You'll probably hear a lot of people that hear this. Okay. Okay, hi guys. Okay, I'm so awkward. Okay.